You can't beat the classics.
All right, everyone. Episode 8 of You Can't Beat the Classics podcast. So, the last episode, we promised you a movie from the year 2002, and we're here to deliver that. Mike is with me, along with G Rabbit.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Had to be done.
No.
Yeah, so, well, we picked out a movie from 2002 here. So, I mean, might as well just dive right into it here. So, the movie we're going to be talking about today, actually, I should do a bit of a plug here first with You Can't Beat the Classics. So, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram right there. Our handle's right there. That way you can follow us. And each episode of You Can't Beat the Classics is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, or if you're watching this video on YouTube here. All right, there's our plug. So now, the movie we're going to be talking about for this episode is 2002's 8 Mile, directed by Curtis Hanson. All right, guys. So, first thing I usually always ask in these episodes is, do you remember the first time you saw 8 Mile?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
So,
that was
with my mom.
Oh, no.
I saw it. I rented the DVD from the movie store.
You know, I don't remember the first time I saw it.
Ooh.
I could not tell you. I know it was, when I was, at least definitely not in 2002. I didn't see it, but maybe like a few years after that.
Yeah.
I probably saw it.
Mine wasn't when it was like a brand new movie. Mine was definitely,
Yeah.
It was rented. It was out for a little while. So it was probably a year or two after that.
I might have seen it when like Eminem was like having some issues, like the late 2000s, I think. That might have been around the time I saw it, but I don't remember.
I saw it right away. In theaters. Mom took me, rated R. Had to.
Wow. Yeah, so I mean, it had been a while since I seen it up until this point, but watching it the other day, and I was like, we'll get into it here, but I think I can tell you right now, if you're listening to this, that I think this is going to be a polarizing episode. I'll say that right off the bat here. But yeah, so before we get into it here, let's watch the trailer for 8 Mile real quick.
When I feel blue, don't know what to do, I look at you, and I just say, good night, baby, go to sleep.
You're still at that Little Caesars over in Warren?
Nah. I'm down in New Detroit stamping now.
You got fired from a pizza place.
Yo, at least I got a job.
Late again, Smith, and you're fired.
You know that everybody's calling you a loser?
You ever wonder at what point you gotta stop living up here?
Janine!
Start living down here? Look. Hey, Ray. All right, come on, man. How you feeling? If you had...
Oh, this is like when Lose Yourself was like a new thing.
Enough cash to get out of this place?
Yeah,
I'm on my way. I'm taking you with me. He sees everything you ever
It's so
wanted.
weird now because
It's gonna happen.
I don't see it as a new
Did
thing,
you capture it?
obviously, but just the fact that it was is just weird to
Let it
me.
slip.
What are you doing with your life that's so great?
Snap back to reality. Oh, there goes gravity. Oh, there goes rabbit. He choke. He's so mad, but he won't give up. Daddies, he know he won't have it. He knows his whole back to these ropes. It don't matter. He's dope. He knows that, but he's broke. He's so stagnant. He knows when he goes back to this mobile home. That's when it's back to the lab again, yo. This old rhapsody better go capture this moment and hope it don't do it. Lose yourself in the music. The moment you own it, you better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime.
peace.
You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better.
8 miles. Every moment is a chance to turn it around.
I have a feeling about you. You're gonna be great.
They're calling your name. You better lose yourself in the music the moment you own it. You better never let it go. You only get one shot. Do not miss your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. You better.
That's not a bad cut.
8 Mile. Yeah, that's. I've never seen that trailer before, so yeah. So it's like, well, like I think Eminem and like like and especially that song is like so ingrained into like our culture. So it's like the fact that it's only like this old is just weird to me because it's like I don't know how else to describe it.
It's got to be weird too that wasn't even the song that like was tied to the movie. Lose Yourself was like the biggest song, but it wasn't the movie's headlining soundtrack. It was 8 Mile Road.
Yeah, it's a good point.
Which
Yeah,
is
but
so weird to think about.
they cut "Lose Yourself" like 15 times into this movie, and they cut like different lines from it and like put it over like just like the beat at different times during all the movie.
Right, but they did that with 8 Mile Road too.
Yeah, I know, but like so it's just yeah.
I did kind of like that because it was like it showed like the process of making the song, I guess, and I'm sure that was legit how it came together. Maybe not what the movie was saying, but like the way it sounded. He must have had stuff in his catalog, from the time that he started working on it. But yeah, all right. So like we're gonna start right off the top here, as usual. So Eminem's hanging out in some bathroom at the beginning, like getting hyped up for something. He's like miming, rapping, or whatever he's trying to do to get.
He's pretending.
He's definitely somebody's banging on the door to go. I'd bang on the door too. I'm like, come on, man.
Yeah, he tied up an entire public restroom just so that he could like air guitar for 10 minutes before he did nothing.
Well, and then another thing too is all that prep work. It doesn't end up paying off as he chokes, but
he doesn't say anything.
He said nothing. I was like, whoops. Yeah. I forget who was it Papa Doc or no, it wasn't Papa Doc this time. It was just some random guy, I think.
No. It was just a Doc went before.
It's just some guy. Okay. Oh, okay. That's right. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm gonna call him Eminem, but maybe I should start calling him B Rabbit.
Yeah, you gotta call him B Rabbit.
All right, fine, B Rabbit.
Bunny Rabbit.
Yeah. He's literally like the only person's name I know in the movie besides like Papa Doc. That's.
You got Future. You got Cheddar Bob. Come on.
Oh, Cheddar Bob. Yeah, that's
Exhibit.
another one.
Brittany Murphy.
Dude, yeah, Exhibit. Later down the line, but yeah.
Like the casting is good. The casting in this movie is good.
It's all hip hop.
Oh wait,
stars.
Brittany Murphy's name Alex. That's what it is. Okay.
Alex. That hoe.
All right, so he walks out of here, after choking, and I'm like, wait a minute, he just has stuff already behind the dumpster. Like he
was weird.
He has a change of clothes right behind the dumpster.
Yeah, because he's he's homeless.
Yeah, but you don't know that when at first.
I mean, he literally says at that exact moment that he was homeless and that he gave his car to Janine.
After he pulls it out, though, first his boys are even looking at him like, "The fuck are you doing? Are you Batman with just clothes hanging around the city? Like, what the fuck are you doing?" Like, Star was looking at him like, "Fucking hello, Miss Daisy, what are you doing?"
Yeah,
that was weird.
And I think he's changing before he choked.
Yeah, because he threw up on himself.
Because he threw up. That's what happened. Yeah, because he puked on himself. I think he actually has a song. He does have a song called "Puke."
The second he got on stage, you had to know he was gonna bomb. If maybe not say anything, but he was gonna bomb. Like even his friends were making fun of him before he got on there. The dude was just not in the right headspace.
Yeah, there was he clearly like he's trying to prepare himself as much as he could, but there was no preparing for that. But yeah, but I think we see Papa Doc like sitting off in the back, and or I mean, if you want to call him the Falcon, you want to call him Captain America now. He's been both of those since since then. So B Rabbit, he chokes. He's going home to his mom's trailer, and his mom is getting railed by General Zod. I'm like, whoa, dude, it's and I'm like, talk about a terrible thing to walk into.
Yeah, and like the dude's like in his graduating class from high school. Like he's the same age as him.
Yeah, it's weird. It's and this and like all right, and like General Zod is like the bum here, and he's like making comments. He's like making comments to B Rabbit about like
He's picking
you know,
fights.
yeah, about
Greg Buell.
having trouble with a job and all that. And I'm like, but he's like, at least I got a job.
Yeah, but Greg Buell is about to get that settlement check, baby.
Yeah,
False.
yeah.
Completely made up. Completely made up.
What do you mean?
That never happened in real life. She wasn't banging.
This
one
isn't
of
a
his high
fucking biopic.
Dude,
It's not a fucking
I
biopic.
absolutely cannot stand this movie. I cannot stand this movie.
It's not a fucking biopic.
Let's let loose, Mike. Let it out.
I can't stand it. So
It's not a biopic.
okay, so if it's not a biopic, don't base it at all on real events. Don't do
Why
it at all.
not?
Okay, so if this movie,
It's fucking Bunny Rabbit.
No, okay,
It's
hold
not
on.
a biopic.
Yeah, oh yeah, his name is B Rabbit, but he has his real name still. He's still friggin' Marshall.
It's Jimmy Smith.
Yeah, I don't know.
It could be more generic.
This
It
movie
came with
absolutely
Wonder
drives me
Bread.
nuts. Okay, so if friggin' Walk the Line is for Johnny Cash and Dewey Cox is like the parody of that, this movie is Dewey Cox but worse. Walk Hard.
not a parody.
This is yeah. It should be a parody. This movie is fiction, 100% of it, and I think that's why I hate it so much. I don't want to watch this movie to watch some fake accounts of some Detroit asshole who has the worst part of his life. I want to see Eminem's rise to fame, and 8 Mile should have been that, and
Well,
it wasn't. I watched this whole movie,
but
2
it
hours of this
wasn't.
movie for 15 minutes.
It's not like they sold you Bohemian Rhapsody and gave you like a Motley Crue spinoff. They told you it's like couldn't be more loosely based.
Yeah,
on some of Eminem's events.
But it's not a fictional movie. They didn't. It's not in the fiction section. It's in the bio section.
So who put it there? What do you want? What do you want them to
This
do?
movie is not that.
It's not a biopic.
Sucks. This movie is awful.
This
So
movie's
this
an
kid has the
amazing
worst
movie.
life. This kid has the worst life in the world. I don't
Terrible.
give a shit about his life. I don't give a shit about it.
You're not supposed to care about his life.
Okay, then what am I supposed to watch this movie for? The first hour and 45 minutes is about how much he sucks.
Yes.
Why do I want to watch that?
Because it's how much he sucks and he doesn't take responsibility for how much he sucks. He just blames it on the world. No, he doesn't. He blames it on the world.
Oh, he
and
blames
then
it on the world.
halfway through, he's like, I got to be a man and I got to take onus for all this shit. And he does. He goes to work. He's like, hey, my fuck up. My fuck up. My
he
bad.
goes to work. He says, "Oh, my fuck up," and then his boss actually gives him the extra shift, and he blows it off so he can go to some stupid rap battle and change his whole life. Oh my god, this movie, stupid.
Jesus Christ. It's fictional characters, Mike. They're fake.
Yeah,
They're fake.
it's fictional characters.
You
and they're
wanted it
phased,
to be a
but they
different
wanted to
movie.
loosely base it off of his real life.
And they
guess
did.
what?
They
It sucked.
loosely
It
based
sucked.
it.
Yeah, okay, so
wasn't
you know what I wanted
terrible.
to see? You know what I wanted this movie to be? 100%. I
Yeah,
wanted
you
to be
see Kim, you wanted to see all that
No,
shit.
no, I didn't want to see all that stuff. But the thing
You're
is,
lying.
when he was going through all this stuff before he released his EP, he was married to Kim. He did have a daughter, Haley, and he lived in his mom's trailer. So the girl who was his younger sister in the movie was actually the representation of Haley in this movie. And why didn't they just make it that? Why didn't they make it that he had a kid with his wife and they lived in their mom's trailer? Why didn't they do that?
I thought it was to be his niece.
No, it's supposed to be Haley. Like he was married, living in his mom's trailer, and they had the baby Haley already.
Yeah, but I thought it was his niece of his brother or stepbrother. Who
But like,
killed
if you're
himself.
gonna make all these stretches and loosely base everything, like, why isn't like that one true fact would have made that whole storyline better? Like his daughter almost sees him get killed out in front of his house. That was fake, by the way.
No,
It's for
I didn't
dramatic
make it.
effect.
Yeah, it was a lot of it was for
It
dramatic
was
effect.
dramatic. Oh, stupid.
I mean, I would have loved to see that movie too, but that's not the movie they
I wanted to see.
advertised.
This is what Eminem did to succeed, to overcome his thing. This is how he grounded
Also,
it. I wanted Dr. Dre to be in this movie. I wanted that.
who didn't want that? Who doesn't still want to see that movie? I would love to see that movie,
Yeah.
but that's not 8 Mile.
And
It was
8 Mile
never
sucks
8
because
Mile.
of it. It sucks because of it.
8 Mile sucks because it wasn't Titanic. Got it.
Wrong. It doesn't need to be Titanic. It
You
just
wanted
needs
it to be Titanic.
No, it
Titanic
needs
was
to
a
be straight
fucking
out of
loosely.
Compton. Why couldn't it be straight out of Compton?
Because straight out of Compton, you wanted an actual biopic. It's not a fucking biopic. So I'm saying meet in the middle with like a Titanic, which is called Titanic, but it's not a true story.
Yeah. So even then, at
That's
this point,
what I meant. And
let me move past that.
Whatever.
So this isn't Walk the Line either, and it isn't Dewey
No.
Cox. It's somewhere in the middle. They should have gone full Dewey Cox with this thing if they were going to. Make him totally obnoxious. His friend almost didn't shoot himself in the leg, almost kill himself. That was for dramatic. The whole thing is dramatic, and I hate
all
that.
those instances can actually happen.
Yeah.
In real
So
life.
you say it could actually happen. Yeah. So
Yes. People go through this.
Captain America could actually happen. We could be making super soldiers, but none of it did. So it's fiction. This is not fiction because it could actually happen.
It's definitely like more realistic than Captain America.
I don't know. We don't know.
A guy shooting himself in the leg,
We don't
Plexico
know.
Burris.
What's
did
inside
that.
Area 51? We don't know.
We don't know. But cheating,
All right.
like mom sleeping around. I mean, that could happen.
That happened. That did happen.
That could
Yeah.
happen. I mean, the friend shooting himself, people being bums and losers, and living
committing arson. That
burning
does
down
happen.
houses and treating it like a bonfire,
That
shooting
really-
police cars with paintball guns. All this shit could happen.
That actually happened, and he did get arrested for that. Why didn't they just get arrested in the movie? Get arrested.
Because that's 45 minutes out of the way.
Well, see, like that would have been 45 minutes better spent. Oh, I went.
He
to
needed
prison
to go back
and I got
and
able to
call-
write my raps. So I was writing my raps in prison, and that's what
No, because the
inspired
next
me.
scene was then they went back and they partied.
Stupid.
Well, the amount of stuff they were doing, I'm like, where are the cops? I was like, but the thought in my head, I was like, all right, Detroit cops probably just don't care. Nobody cares. Nobody cares in Detroit. That was my thought through the entire movie.
They burned a house down, whatever.
Literally nothing happened from
houses
that.
in Detroit are worth what, like $1,500 these days?
Wow. Chat, what do you think about that?
Oof. Oh.
I'm streaming right now to all my boys in Detroit who are definitely going to chime in on that.
Let me
But
bring up this stream so I can yell at them. I know who it is already.
I think this movie was so well done. I know we're only like a quarter, not even through what we were talking about, but just to recap everything we just said, this movie was so well done. If you can get past the notion that it's not an Eminem biopic, it's not an Eminem biopic.
I'll tell you the exact description of it off of Wikipedia right here, right now.
No, give me it off IMDb. I don't want it off Wikipedia. Give me it off IMDb. I can live with IMDb, not Wikipedia.
All right, fine. We'll go IMDb on it.
Listen, hey, I feel like Wikipedia people are gonna go in there and just hey,
Mike's gonna change it right now.
Yeah. This movie sucks.
It doesn't suck.
It does.
I would argue this movie. If you watch this movie, it is arguably one of the better hip hop focused.
For all we know,
movies
this
there
movie
is.
could have killed Brittany Murphy.
This is not. No, the next one she did with Ashton Kutcher could have been the one that killed her. What was that one called? Like Newlyweds or something like that? You know what I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, I think it is Newlyweds. I think you're
right. IMDb doesn't really put it.
All right, then go back to Wikipedia.
Wikipedia, right, semi-autobiographical.
I'll take that.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
So there's some crap that's thrown in there, and there's some little bit of truth to there.
I would take that.
I don't know what the ratio is between them, but it might just like 99% crap.
It's 99% crap, and that's not what I wanted out of this movie.
I bet you they wanted to do an Eminem biopic, and he's like, "Fuck that."
No, because his life wasn't as terrible as they made it out to be in this movie. That's why he didn't want to do it.
The ex-wife would have sued him.
Who, Kim?
Yeah.
Fuck him. She's in the trunk of his car. Dead. He drives off a bridge.
My teeth
It's in
run
the
cold,
song.
and I'm
It's in the
wondering why.
song.
I forget
All
where I was. Oh wait, he was all right. He got the crap car for his birthday. I remember that.
We've
Thanks,
all been there.
Yeah, and then he's got the Walkman on the bus. I remember that, and it's like he's on the bus and he's like riding, and you see how Detroit is, and I'm like, just Detroit is something else. As you're, I mean that's the picture it paints for you. The movie paints for you. All right, here's where the problem I have with this movie really starts. There's a lot of dialogue in this movie, and it is just drowned out by just either loud music or something else like silly in the background. Like I could not hear what people were saying in this movie on some scenes.
Yeah, Whitney makes me watch movies with subtitles.
Like
So
I should have
Which
put
scene was
this.
this?
So this is one of the somebody. It's always. I felt like it was always when they were riding in the car together. They like
Oh,
jam.
yeah.
They just clown car like 8 people into this car, and they're blasting music, but they're having a conversation, and I can't understand what they're saying unless I have the subtitles on. The music drowns out the dialogue in a lot
I
of
mean,
these scenes, and even
doesn't that-
somebody was beeping their car as dialogue was going on, and I'm like, why is this happening when people are talking?
Because this movie's so bad they couldn't even figure out how to mix the sound.
That's how you roll, bro. When you're smoking, you blast
Oh,
the music and you
okay.
have to fuck. That's what they were doing.
Yeah.
I know,
Every part of this.
I know the picture they were.
It's just production quality at this point.
But I'm like, I
I
gotta
thought
hear
it
what
was
they're
dope.
saying, and I felt like even if I couldn't, I don't know. I didn't remember this being a problem with the movie until I just watched it again.
I didn't notice any sound issues. I too will have the captions on. Like I think Mike told me about this when we first started doing the reviews on the other channel. I captions are great, and they, but
One misheard word can change an entire scene.
I had no problem with the audio. Like maybe it's because I went on a lot of car rides in high school and I'm just used to it. The screaming over the music.
Maybe.
And I love the music. The music in this movie is unparalleled. And I've told Mike, soundtrack top to bottom. This is the greatest fucking soundtrack that's ever come out. And before that, I thought it was like Little Nicky was one of the best, but like this is cream of the crop.
Are you talking about original soundtracks?
I mean,
because I mean,
talking about movie soundtracks.
Because Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny, I think, has a better soundtrack.
Okay, well, Tenacious D is an animal all its own, but yeah, I would agree. Tenacious D is pretty fucking bomb.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of rap to begin with, but
this is a tough movie for you then.
No, I know, but but I mean, but Eminem's always been one of those artists that I've definitely respected. He's one of the best in this genre, definitely. But yeah, so I mean, so the music choices are different for me, but it fits. That part is a solid for the movie. I think this is where this is another point he meets Brittany Murphy. Brittany Murphy's character Alex, who I don't remember when Brittany Murphy passed away. I have to check what year that was.
2008.
I know it's probably at least over 5 years after this movie.
Yeah, there was some time in between.
Yeah,
it was a while. But you know what? And a lot of the dialogue in this movie confuses me too. Like, in my notes here, like I kind of have like random things happening, but like as far as what they're talking about, like I can't remember off the top of my head.
And
she was asking to see her brother, and then the foreman or B Rabbit was like, "I'll show her," and the foreman was like, "No, fuck you, Miss Daisy." And Then they met because he was flipping off his boss, and she turned around and saw it and was like,
Yeah.
"No, fuck you."
Yeah.
I've seen this movie too many times though, so I'm a little biased
So
when it comes to that.
the problem with this movie is the first hour and a half of this movie has no fucking point. Literally no point.
It's dump. It's the world dumping on Jimmy and him blaming the world when really it's his own fault. He choked. He left Janine, and you find that out down after. He left her, not the other way around. He ran away when she said she was pregnant.
She lied about being pregnant.
She did.
Yeah.
The car problems, he gave a girl his car instead of talking to her. That the car problems is his problem. The work thing, yo, get your fucking ass up and get to fucking work on time. Like everything is his fault, but he blames everyone else. He trusted his fucking friend Wink to get him a fucking deal, a studio deal, and he put all his eggs in that basket. And Wink said, "Fuck you."
Wink was gonna come through.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the whole first half is him just snowballing terrible decisions,
And it was
and
so
blaming it on the world.
boring. It was so boring.
It can be boring, dude, but it's a very relevant movie for 2021. I think.
Why? Because no one wants to work.
I think I wasn't gonna say that. I was saying because a lot of people have a hard time, just accepting self-responsibility.
Yeah,
it's always got to be someone else's fault that something happened. It can never be raise your hand, look in the mirror. Well, I need to man up and get it.
And like to that point, George, I think I know when, like in my mind, like what the turning point is for him. From getting out of that mindset. It's a little later on in the movie, but I mean, I'll bring it up once we get to it. Just some of the things I have written down here, like spitting rhymes to Lynyrd Skynyrd.
That the Sweet Home, I Live at Home in a Trailer rap lives rent free in my head. Like lives rent free in my head. Like any chance I get to drop any part of that song, I do. I fucking love it. How funny was that? Mekhi Phifer out of fucking nowhere. The only thing I remember Mekhi Phifer doing well was O and House. And then all of a sudden he comes in here and he's fucking rhyming, rapping. Hello, Miss Daisy? No.
I did enjoy that part of the movie. That was I guess the only parts of this movie that I actually liked is when Eminem actually sang. Because even in this movie, he was supposed to lip sync, like all of his like rapping and singing parts. He was supposed to lip sync, and he chose not to. And I think that's like the only part of this movie I enjoy because it's actually real.
That's why he had a raspy voice at the end. Him and Mekhi Phifer had raspy voices because they were saying everything.
And then Exhibit, he actually rapped his lines too. He was supposed to lip sync. Like all the singing in this movie, the director wanted to take the stance that it needed to be more audio perfect. But all the actual artists decided not to do that, which was a huge nod, but it was also like the only parts of this movie that I enjoyed. Like, why the fuck would Alex show up at a steel stamping plant and just have sex with Eminem or fucking Jimmy, whatever you want to say, without saying any spoken words? They literally said nothing. They just walked to the back of the like why?
It'd be like that.
What's the point? What's the point of that?
Speaking of that part,
what's the point of that? That was like them tying up that they're each other's person.
Oh, except she goes and cheats on him in the next scene.
Well, all right. So we want to talk about realism in this movie. I was like, okay, we'll jump ahead. I'll jump to that part really quick, where where they're getting it on in his workplace of employment here. And dude, he has a boss that's on his ass, all 8 hours, 10 hours a day that he's there. And he doesn't see this going on. He isn't like, oh, what you doing there, Jim? He didn't see this happening.
Hey, Brittany Murphy.
It didn't last that long. So
no, it didn't.
I love you so much. I want to lean you up against some dirty-ass pallets in the back of this warehouse and do it.
Hey, man, if you're living at home and your mom's getting more than you are, then you're taking anything you can get.
Watching this movie on TV, obviously that part's cut really down. So you're like, oh, that was quick. But then you watch the real version like this and you're like, oh, that was quick.
Actually, I saw this movie with my mother the first time.
And it was the longest scene of the movie.
Feel quick. It did not feel quick. Felt like I could have run a marathon, come back, and he was still inside.
You should have been awkward and been like, Mom, what are they doing?
Oh man.
Oh
Seared in my
man.
brain. I saw that in Titanic with my mom. Blech.
Oof.
Blech. Anyway,
Oh boy.
probably why I'm a virgin, you know.
Yeah.
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 That are the toys.
Yeah, it's probably the toys. Or as your dad described you from last night, a man boy.
Look, and like the stuff, like they're in the car again at one point, but he's like they're shooting things with a paintball gun, and dude, when they shot the cop car, they're toast. I'm like, that cop car is coming down 100 miles an hour, right past them.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it screams to the buildup of terrible decision making? If he would have got arrested, he would have blamed it on the guy in the backseat with the paintball gun.
In real life, he did get arrested.
Okay.
And in real life, he got acquitted because the person didn't show up to court.
But like, do you see how annoying it would be to have him keep getting arrested and going to court for all these things, and how much movie downtime it would have been? Oh,
nope.
Fine.
Because that's what shaped him as a human being.
Listen, it wasn't a biopic.
I know.
I want it. I don't know why we haven't got it in the era of biopics that we have right now. Like, what studio is like, no, we don't need an Eminem biopic? I don't know. We got an Elton John one. Well, Elton John's still alive. Motley Crue's still kicking around. We got one of those. Give me Kiss and them. I would love to see Eminem's biopic. But that's not it. Not yet.
And this movie suffers because of it.
I don't think so.
So they're driving up through some garage here. I'm like, what? Well, first off, I'm like, what the hell kind of garage is this? It looks like it was like a garage, like mixed with like a theater.
Well, there was a theater in the background, but it was a parking garage, like in Providence by the courthouse.
Well, it felt like the theater was the garage.
Just a little bit.
Just like the way the architecture was. I'm like, what the hell kind of building is this?
It was a well-known spot though, right? Because like so many crews showed up.
Yeah, that spot was like the happening, with whatever they were doing there.
This is when we first get to meet Papa Doc, though.
Yeah.
So really meet him.
So like they're trying to have some fun here in this garage place or whatever, and then the free world shows up.
Captain Falcon.
Yeah, this was like probably the funniest part of the movie, I thought, for me, when Cheddar Bob's just like, yeah, fuck the free world.
Bro, we all have that friend. So after me and Mike debacled earlier, I threw it on just and kind of like been skimming through some scenes, and I was like, maybe this is way too much of an exaggeration. But then I could recall 3 friends at least off the top of my head that you whisper something to them and then they say it out loud like it's their own fucking idea. It's like, oh, idiot, Stimpy, idiot.
Yeah, that was.
I just don't get it. So like Eminem or Jimmy or whatever, he wasn't even in a crew. So like, why was he even fighting with these free world people? 313 is an area code. It's not a crew.
Well, you don't know a lot of crews then. That was their crew name, was the 313.
It was, yeah, that's true.
Dude, what do you think they're chanting at the end of the fucking movie? Fuck free world.
Detroit's area code.
No. They were changing their crew name
because
in Mike's defense,
right,
in Mike's defense, I didn't realize it was like the crew name. Until after seeing the movie a few times. I thought it was just.
Is it clever? No, but that was their name.
Well, because 313 isn't even a real thing.
Well, like they were saying 313, and then they were like,
I'm just telling you.
I know, but like he was never in a crew. It was never called 313. 313 is just the area code.
We get it. It's not a fucking biopic.
Yeah, man, it sucks because of it. I wanted to know how it happened, where he came from, and then how he got to where he was. I don't want to know how shitty Detroit is because we know how shitty Detroit is.
I know.
Yeah. I don't know.
I can just see the steam coming out of Mike's ears.
Well,
It just sucked as a movie, and like even as a movie that's not a biopic, if you understand it's not a biopic, it still sucks. It's about a kid
Oh,
that's running
God.
around, breaking all the laws, not getting caught, not getting justice, and then all of a sudden making his break, and then oh yeah, I'll go great. Now the movie's good now. No,
What
the
break did
movie
he
sucked.
fucking get? What break did he get? He's still working at a fucking steel mill, going home to a trailer to get fucking half-cooked pancakes.
Which
He's
is
not no
not
fucking
real.
break.
That wasn't real. He worked in a
That
restaurant.
was in
He
the
didn't work in
movie.
I know, but like, you know what I mean?
You just said you could separate the two.
Yeah,
and
when
then
you
that's
do separate it, it all doesn't make sense. You know what? You know what would happen in real life? When his boss is like, "Hey, son, you turned your shit around. I'm gonna give you an extra shift." You show up for that fucking shift. You're on welfare. You make the
Well,
money. You don't. I'm gonna blow it off.
yeah, but he had the guy cover for him,
That doesn't mean he's making more money.
and
That
then he
means
went,
he's a guy.
and then he went back
Mm,
after
Still.
the.
Still,
I mean, he did go back.
worked
Day,
that
though,
shift.
I've always wondered how long he was at the shelter, because he made it 3 rounds, and like you got to figure everyone else is going. There's some breaks in between.
Dude,
Like, you got
Yeah,
to
he missed like half a shift, and the guy's on welfare.
Dude, that's a good point. Yeah, so he's like, oh, can you cover for me for a couple of hours? Dude, he had to have been at that place at least 3 hours.
Chat is roasting Mike right
Yeah,
now.
why? Because this movie sucks. Because
No,
it's
because
not an
you
accurate
absolutely-
description of what Detroit actually is.
You took your pants off and you just had Chipotle shits all over
I
Detroit.
hope
for the
I
past
hope
20
so.
minutes.
This movie is not an accurate description of what Detroit actually is. And if people are like, this movie is a symbol of Detroit, well, Detroit fucking sucks way more than I thought it did. Because this is insane. Like, anyone that thinks this is a good movie
Dude,
because it's any type of accurate representation of
Alright.
anything.
Would you rather have 8 Mile Detroit or RoboCop Detroit?
Neither?
Walking Dead Detroit?
Yeah, seriously. Is that an option?
They're both terrible.
Yeah.
So, well, and then after they're at this theater, they're like eating at some restaurant. But I'm like, all this talk about having problems with money, and I'm like, but they have no problem eating at this restaurant.
Yeah, but
I
I don't think Jimmy had any food there. Did he have a plate in front
Oh,
of him?
they might have just had drinks. I don't know.
I thought he didn't. Yeah, I thought he had one drink, and then he even got up in the middle of it because Janine was at the bar. Her pregnant ass was drinking and smoking.
Yep.
Yeah. Comment of the year by Cheddar Bob. I thought she was pregnant. We all know a Cheddar Bob. We all know one.
Yep.
We all know one. And if I happen to be your Cheddar Bob, you can tell me privately. But we all know one.
You're Cheddar Bob.
I might be.
And like, I have no idea what they're talking about in the restaurant. I was like totally lost. I was like, what are they saying?
Oh, because the movie's so poorly written that none of the dialogue makes sense.
It all makes sense.
It doesn't make sense. And like
even sitting in the basement just shooting the shit and Cheddar Bob's hitting on that girl, it all tied back in at the end because she told them that Papa Doc's real name was Clarence, and Clarence.
Yeah, that part does fit.
It all ties
That does
together
fit.
in some fucking way. It was brilliant writing. Brilliant.
Fabricated events to make the story make sense because it was poorly written.
Isn't that every movie?
No.
Like, except for biopics.
So, but I mean, I will say there's like no concept of time in this movie.
No.
I'm like, it's got to be like 3 a.m. They've been to like 4 different places. I'm like, what time is? I was like, what time is it? Like the grown up in me was just thinking as I was watching this.
I definitely had some timeline issues with the movie because it just seems like they didn't really give a fuck about the time.
Nope.
Just like, well, like the covering of the shift thing, just like constantly whenever I watch it is the biggest plot hole because he was waiting on his ride. The guy was waiting on a ride to show up, and you went to the shelter for what felt like at least 3 hours.
Yeah.
I know, yeah. But like even then, so like right after this part, the part that we were just talking about, isn't that when like they're driving down the street and then they see the other supposed rap crew, and then he like parks his car and they'll get out and just start like fist fighting in the middle of the street for no fucking reason?
I think that comes a little bit
Yeah,
later. I think the first thing they do is they burn that house down.
Oh, they burned the house down that they were partying in. Yeah.
Yeah, the roof.
Yeah.
We don't need no water.
Dude, I forget who wrote that song initially. But I mean this shows you how like the music I listen to is. I always got that line from Coal Chamber, but that's just the metal in me. But I mean I don't think it came from them.
No.
I got that line from the Bloodhound Gang.
Yeah, them too. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Jimmy Pop, and I'm a dumb white guy.
So like so they burn the house down, but this is the part where they're like clown car and they're like driving down and like he sees, I don't even remember this guy's name, the guy that was trying to like get him saying he was going to get him the record deal. He sees B-Rabbit sees him with the free world, I think, and that's what prompts him to jump out of the car and start fighting them.
Yeah. That whole fight made sense for a second. Just a second, though.
No, it didn't. None of it made any sense.
Just
it
a
didn't.
second.
Okay, so like, oh, look at these people sitting over there minding their own business, and I'm driving by. I'm gonna go pull over and start just running at them and just fight them. What the fuck?
Made sense for a second.
No, it doesn't make any sense. And then Cheddar fucking takes out a gun that he's took it from his mom, and he shoots himself in the leg.
This is where you lose me. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so like they're all fighting, and then this stoned friggin' ridiculously high guy is just waving around a gun, and everyone's like, "Okay, buddy." Like everyone all of a sudden, like everyone was fighting, and everyone's like, "Okay, we
everyone just dead stop."
This fucking white guy.
I think the fighting part doesn't baffle me. Like I've
yeah, it does.
No,
you're in your mind. You're like, oh god, this movie's so well written. This stupid fight scene that makes no sense in the middle of this movie. I have to make it make sense in my brain. It doesn't make sense.
No.
Okay, so you're gonna try and tell me. You're gonna try and tell me that these people they fight in the middle of the street for no fucking reason. But when he's rap battling him and telling him how much of a bitch he is and how he said had sex with his mom, that none of them are throwing hands then.
I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I've never been in a rap battle. Been in a high school
fight.
All right,
next time I see you, we're gonna get in a rap battle, and I'm gonna say some really juicy stuff. And if you don't swing at me, then we'll know.
If you make fun of my mom, I'm gonna make fun of your mom, and I think we're both gonna lose. Here.
I think this whole thing, we'll both be sitting there shaking each other's hands. Good job.
Yeah. So how about maybe we let two other people rap and see what happens. But no, I mean, in high school, that I remember getting suspended from school for fighting just like that, where we pulled up, saw the kid, we got out, we fought, went to school next day, we're all suspended. So
who the fuck does that? What kind of juvenile delinquent are you?
Oh man, I got suspended, but it was for something stupid. But
I mean, but that fight made sense to me because I've done that.
I got suspended once in 3rd grade. Because this kid was talking to this girl at the bus stop, and she said he was creepy, so I told him he was creepy, and then he told the principal, and I got suspended because I told him he was being creepy.
Wait, so you're Cheddar Bob?
I'm Cheddar Bob! Holy shit, I'm Cheddar Bob!
Dude, well, I don't know. Wait till
full circle. See, it all comes back around.
We have to tell you what I was suspended for. Just plagiarism. That's the stupidest thing.
That's the lamest way to get suspended ever.
Yeah. That was it. And it wasn't me. I didn't do it. My dad did it. My dad did it.
Your dad wrote your paper for you? Hold on a second.
All right, I need issues here.
I'll get into this after the episode. There's a big explanation for that.
But anyway.
My dad did my diorama, and...
That's why I don't deserve an F. He deserves the F.
Dude, so no. Quick aside. I did a diorama of Detroit. I just went to a dumpster and then brought it into school.
Oh. Oof.
Okay, chat.
Sorry to all of the Detroit listeners in this episode.
Anyway,
Hey, I'll defend
in,
myself. I said that if this movie's an accurate representation of Detroit, then Detroit is way worse than I thought it was. So that means that I think that this movie's painting a way worse description of Detroit than what's actually happening.
They're all really good rappers.
Yeah.
But the fighting part made sense to me. It was when none of them whipped out a gun to stop getting their ass beat, other than the moron who can't.
Papa Doc pulled out a gun, but then the dude told him to put it away.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? You're getting punked in the middle of the street. You pull the gun out and tell everyone to stop.
Well, that's what Cheddar was trying to do.
Yeah,
and then everyone was like, "This guy's way too high to have a gun."
And I guess if it speaks to why the B Rabbit character had to go and fight, because he's an idiot, right? He's a dumb kid who can't take responsibility for anything. He rolled up on a crew that he knows have guns. You know they have guns, and you just started throwing fucking haymakers.
Yeah, it's stupid. It doesn't make any sense.
Didn't even have a knife. Didn't even have a knife. He barely cleaned his shoes in the sink before he left the house. Which I don't know why we had to see that scene, but
dude, I'm wondering what age group these guys are all in. They gotta be.
It's like early 20s.
They gotta be early 20s because I feel like they're like, in their mind they think they're like these like tough guys, but you know picking fights and all this stuff, but they might have a sense of realism there because like the minute somebody pulls out a gun, that's when they're like, whoa, stop.
Yeah,
you know.
But we did gloss over a very important part too, which was B Rabbit's mom talking about how they're getting evicted, and now B Rabbit's got to chip in for the rent. This is a pivotal scene because now, she's crying. She's like, I don't know what we're gonna do. We need B Rabbit. B Rabbit, you got to kick in. And he's trying to give her this life pep talk, right? Like
this is his turning point because I feel because the mom is like, oh, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? And that's where the gears starts turning in his head, where it's like, all right, I don't want to be like this. Like, I don't want to be this selfish. So that's when he blasts it back at her.
She says the last thing she says when he leaves, I think, is what starts the inception. Is when she's like, "What are you doing with your life that's so great?" And he's just like, "All right, gotta go to work." Yeah.
Yeah, and then he blows off his overtime shift. That's cool.
Later, yeah. But like that's the motif of the movie, is like, take responsibility. Once you do that, you can actually control your life instead of letting other people influence it.
Except it's all fictional situations.
Yeah, you're right.
So none of this stuff would actually work in real life.
So do you like the Dirt by Motley Crue? Like, is that something you like too?
Never seen it.
I haven't seen it either. No.
What's the next scene?
Well, all right, we've kind of gone all over the place with this one, which is fine. I got no problem with that, which is all right. So I have like this, how like shady this dude was that was pretending to be his friend, like promising him this record deal and all that. But like, at one point in the movie where you're like, all right, this guy's total BS. This guy's the total like joke.
The
like
very first time you saw him, because he was wearing that suit and he was rolling with Papa Doc, and he was telling him how like he's just hanging out with him so he can bring up. You know how you have like those friends who are like, that like they're not really your friends, and they're hanging out with a different crew, but they're trying to be nice to you. So they'll be like, no, I'm just gonna like eat lunch with those guys, but like I'm gonna get you at that table. Like, don't worry about it. Like, you're just like, it's like one of those. He's just a complete Steve.
Yeah, I mean, everyone kind of talks shit about Wink the whole movie, so it's like.
But then I want to know. So like, Wink's a piece of shit. At what point does Alex like, yeah, I want to have sex with this guy?
Right?
Because
he's a complete piece of shit the whole time.
Hey man, that's how bad she wanted to get out. Remember, she said she'd do anything to change her situation. She would do anything to get out of the bad situation she was in. That when she was talking to Jimmy when they were burning the house down, like she would do anything to not be a loser. And she got the call, so she earned it. I guess
she got the call, so she played with his balls.
Yeah, I mean, she got more than he did in the long run. Like, she got the call to fucking go be a model or whatever, so he didn't
Yeah.
get shit. He should have fucked
Yeah.
Wink. Should have.
then the record deal would have been more.
Well, that'd be more believable than what actually happened.
Maybe that's how it really went down. Like, he blew Dr. Dre, and here we are.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe we're uncovering something
Yeah,
here. We don't even know.
I wonder if this set off anything with Mike when it's Eminem versus General Zod in the trailer.
Me and Greg
Come
Buell
on,
went to the
come on,
same
man! Use
school.
your Kryptonian strength. Come on! He gets the crap kicked out of him.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah. So that whole storyline too, it's just stupid. The mom is only having sex with this guy because he's gonna get some lawsuit settlement and he's gonna take it with. Everyone knows that as soon as he's gonna get that thing, he's gonna dump the trash and go get something better. Like he wasn't gonna keep her anyway, and it just so happened that Jimmy got in a fight with him, and he gave him a reason to not take his mom with him, even though he had a reason the whole time, is because she was trash.
I think Greg Buell did not have to be the same age as Jimmy. I think he could have been younger. I think that's the only part of that whole scenario that, like,
I gotta say something real quick here. So, mom goes out and plays bingo. Does that mean that this fucking Buell guy, General Zod, is just like going up to the bingo parlor and like cleaning up? Like, is that his play?
Maybe.
Like, does that work?
Chat, do you guys go to the bingo parlor and speed date? Let me know in the comments below. Throw an F in the chat if that was completely made up. Bro, like, I don't know what you want me to tell you about that, but I will say that, like, the whole added dynamic of them going to the same school is
weird.
Too much.
Weird.
Too much. But, like, he could have been a younger guy. Like, to Mike's point, there was no shot when he got that money he was staying. But it's just like, like, it was one of those things where, like, Jimmy and the mom were on the same path where they were blaming other people and relying on other people to get their lives further along. And Jimmy took away her crutch, and look at things started working out when she started just doing shit for herself. I mean, granted, it's fucking bingo, but
yeah, I mean,
it was a small metaphorical win, and then
I want to know what bingo parlor is paying out $3,000.
$3,200 for bingo is not bad.
That's what I'm saying, and like I just got a side note, Matilda, the new Matilda movie there. Like, the mom plays bingo every day, and then she hit it big one and took the whole family out to the Ritz-Carlton to eat. And I'm like, what the frick? Like, what bingo parlor is paying out like this? Like, I don't know. Maybe I should invest in bingo.
Well, she had.
I know
she had
would have been a little more believable.
She had $3,200, and the go-to to eat was pancakes.
Oh, I love.
Because she had to pay the rent.
I do like. Oh, she did have to pay the rent. That's true.
She had to pay the rent.
I do like pancakes, but still, I was like.
She had to pay the rent, bro.
I mean,
okay. I understand that now. So I guess so all right. That's a good point there.
I mean, all day breakfast is pretty lit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I mean, pancakes from Kim Basinger. No shot. I'm in. I'm in. In 2002, let's do it.
George has turned me around on this opinion altogether. So.
Kim Basinger says she wants to make me pancakes in the kitchen. I'm down. If you see this, Kim.
What is this, 20 years after the fact?
But all right. This is like the worst day in history for Eminem here. All right, so he gets in a fight with General Zod. Winks, I think that's the name of it. Winks is banging the girl he likes, and then he goes and gets the crap kicked out of him.
No, they come and kick the crap out of him.
He goes. That's what I meant to. Yeah, he goes home and gets the crap kicked out of him.
And then the dude's holding the gun right to his face, and his little sister's like watching. So like that part to me, I'm like, no one does this. Are you trying to tell me because they know where they live, they're gonna roll up at his house in the middle of a trailer park where everyone can see, and they're gonna fucking blow his hand?
This is one thing I was like, so.
I don't think they were
so you slept with the girl that he likes, and he beats you up. You got it coming, but you have the free world roll up on him and retaliate for you when you were in the wrong.
Oh, he was there too. He put a couple kicks in.
Oh no, he did, but
You know
still,
what's
I'm
fucked up
like,
about this part too? Like, and I'm just like putting this together. So like he gets a couple kicks in, and then when Eminem's roasting people at the end, he's cheering for Eminem still. I was like,
Yeah,
uh,
they're boys. They're
no, they're not.
They're still
Everything
boys.
that just happened the last 15 minutes, they're not boys.
You can still root for the guy. He knew Jimmy was a good guy.
No.
Do I think they would ever speak again? Absolutely not. But I mean,
we should have just had Jimmy, and we should have just
Wink
had B Rabbit
probably
there, just
knew
like
that
fuck
he
him.
did him wrong, right? And then when Wink went back to Free World, he's covered in bruises and shit. So what's he gonna say? Oh, Rabbit jumped me. Oh, let's go kick the shit out of Rabbit because he jumped us too. Like I don't think it was all Wink being like, let's go get him, brother. He was just like, he was like, what are you gonna do? You gonna hide the bruises? The dude was in crutches. Like when we see him in the rap battle at the end, he's got crutches. So like he got the fucking shit kicked out of him. You can't hide that. I mean, maybe it was dramatic,
he fell,
or maybe he got the fucking
he fell a couple
times. He fell.
He got the power of Jesus put through him. Like I mean, that part again. I don't think they ever were gonna kill him because they were halfway crooks. They weren't.
So right before this too is when Jimmy started getting his confidence, right? Like he's out getting lunch from the food truck. And Exhibit's there, and I forget who the lady rapper is that's there, who's playing the other character. But like,
I don't remember. Yeah.
But like, they're both like, and then Exhibit starts going off on the gay guy, on the woman, and on a couple other people, and then Jimmy or B Rabbit, whatever, jumps in and starts roasting Exhibit, and then he stands up for the gay guy, which ultimately leads to him helping cover his shift there at the end and all this. So there's like a whole lot in that moment. But like, to be honest, that is like one of my favorite parts of the movie, and it's not because it's a good scene or whatever. It was thrown in to like boost the confidence of the character to progress the story, but like because I actually enjoyed that part because the rapping was good, and it was like it's kind of like what I wanted the whole movie to be. Like if in the first scene, if he actually like didn't be a bitch and got lines out, that sets up this whole rest of this movie for him to be good. And it doesn't need to be, George, I can see your face. It doesn't need to be he sucked at the beginning and then this whole thing is about how he's going to turn himself around. Even if he's like making poor decisions and he's an asshole and he's breaking all these laws and all this stuff and he's blaming the world and not himself, he can still put in a shitty rap battle. Like it doesn't need to be good. It could be shit. It didn't have to be nothing is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but he wasn't. The whole point of the beginning was he wasn't ready for the white jokes and to compete with like being called a pussy and all this stuff. Well, he just wasn't ready. He couldn't figure out how to win the crowd who before the guy even said anything all hated him. Had no idea what to do. So he choked, which I think after rewatching this movie a few times over the past 20 years, I think he purposely didn't say anything. Because what was he going to say that was going to work? Nothing. He had nothing. He didn't know how to win the crowd.
You just gotta go up
over
there and
time,
drop a slur.
if you're oh God. So over time, when you're watching like the parking lot scene or like what was the other scene? The food truck scene.
Yeah.
He learns how to win the crowd, and that's like a huge thing for him. Like it's the choking in the beginning, if you look at it as him not figuring out what to say, clearly you need to watch the rest of the movie because he knew what to say. It was just he knew in the beginning he didn't know how to win the crowd and say what he needed to say to get them back in and look past his skin color. This is like Remember the Titans if the colors were reversed. Okay? That was what it was if you look at it through that lens. Like racially they couldn't get past the white part.
It's more like This Is Radio if the colors are reversed. If you ask me.
I wonder who the white radio would be. Who would you cast for that? Because Tom Hanks killed it, but he was too old for that.
Ben Stiller. You make me happy.
All right. Valid. I accept.
All right. Well, another thing to that point, of him totally. I don't think we're gonna get off of this.
We're good. Just keep talking. It's working.
So, now I'm. to the point of him like being just terrible at the beginning, like nothing. And I think another thing that's what screwed him up is that, like, that's what he wants to do in his life. That's what he puts the most time into. That's what he skips work for, to improve, his music. He wants that record deal. He wants that. But so he went into that first rap battle with like, this is no problem. Like, I can do this. Like, I'm working towards this. I'm like, no problem. And he has nothing. So I think the rest of the movie, that's why he's like, no, I don't want a rap battle. No, I don't want to do that. And, he's messed up from, he's put so much time into it, but he wasn't prepared for it.
Right.
And that's why he doesn't want to go back to it. And I think that's plays into another part of like, him being so polarizing, I guess.
Yeah.
I
think you're right.
So then, we're at the end rap battle, right?
Let's jump into the 3 rap battles here. Battle number 1. All right, battle number 1. He gets him with the moon.
He roasted this guy. He absolutely roasted this guy.
I think if you took away the dramatic effect of the third one, might be the best one.
You think
the first one's lickety split, right?
I think they like progressively like get like roast. That's not even a word, but like roastier. I thought like, yeah, like so like battle number one. Battle number 1 is like, all right, I have to show my ass here, but still pretty good, still not bad. And then number 2 got him. Like I felt like, I don't know. I felt like number 2 was. I felt like they progressively got like crazier.
Yeah, so like I thought the second rap battle was by far, hands down, way more, I'm gonna say, risque than the first one. Like they started getting more personal, they started doing more stuff like that, and like the second one was a split decision, right? Like they had to poll the audience twice to pick the winner. So like I thought that's the natural progression. The first one, he absolutely roasted the guy. They didn't even have to do anything from the audience. Like he won. The second one was really close, and it was really good. Then they get to Papa Doc. And this is the best scene in the movie.
Yep.
With the worst freaking ending. The worst ending ever. So he comes at Papa Doc hard. He has all this personal information on Papa Doc. Maybe Papa Doc wasn't expecting it. He wasn't expecting it. But he's the reigning champion. And he's in this spot, and all he has to do is say anything. Anything. Say something. Be like, oh, I went to private school, but that means I'm more learned than you. Something stupid, right? Say something and lose. Don't just be like, nah, man. I'm the reigning champion. I'm just gonna leave.
That's the whole point.
No,
it's not the whole point. He had nothing to say.
Okay, so all this.
He was shook.
No, all this proves to me is that we watched this whole movie for him to be just handed a win. He wasn't handed a win. He was handed it because the guy didn't try at all. I don't care if he's shook. You're the reigning champion. You go up there, you say something. Respond to something.
He didn't know what to say. He was shook. He got shook.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he pulled all the material that Papa Doc was going to use.
Yeah, literally.
He pulled
it all.
He literally like grabbed it out of him. He's like, nope.
And I mean, if you think that's bad, it happens in all like cult classic movies, like A Knight's Tale. Like, right, the guy was down two lances to none. He had a horse, like the greatest fucking lancer of all time, and he fucking knocked him out cold. Like, come on, this shit happens all the time. The fact that Papa Doc got shook shouldn't be like a big deal. That was arguably the best rap they could have done. Like, I don't think there was any stone unturned. It was the perfect rap. It summed up everything we knew about Jimmy and everything that he possibly could have known about Clarence, and it was fucking great, bro. The only other if they kept it generic and he didn't dive into Clarence and like Cranbrook and the whole crowd calling him a halfway crook, the whole crowd called Papa Doc a halfway crook. What the fuck are you supposed to do? He got shook, and you're comparing him like because he was the champion to like Exhibit. He was just some local fucking guy who could spit rhymes. That's all he was. And that's what Eminem exposed him to be. He just could spit a few good rhymes, drop, I'm going to say it, faggot a few times and say that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all he did in his first rhyme. If you go back and watch the beginning, he just calls the guy a faggot like 10 times and says he should have been aborted. It's like, oh, wow. I don't know how he won, but he did, which goes to show the level of competition.
Or the terrible writing in this movie.
I think the writing was fantastic. I think the Lotto rap was good. The Lickety Split rap was so fucking good. And then
yeah, that was good. Yeah,
like what? How do you top Ward? I think you were a little hard on the Beaver, and then he points at all of them, and he calls them Eddie Haskell, Wally, and Miss Click. Like hello, and then he calls them all Tupac, no Pac, none. Come on, man, he fucking ruined them. For the entire night, too. It wasn't just the 45 seconds. He was laying into them the entire night.
If there's one thing that made sense in this movie, it was the end of the free world after that rap battle.
Oh, my God. Him going back to work, as I'll say the first time, or until I was an adult-ish, I guess, because I'm a man boy. I didn't understand the going back to work part until now. But like the going back to work part, I thought if you would have asked me 10 years ago, I would have said that was the shittiest ending. But it was dope. He didn't get the girl. He didn't win $3,000 in bingo. He had to go back to work. He didn't get a record deal.
Yeah.
He didn't become Eminem. So yeah.
The ending sucks.
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the parts of the movie that I remember the most. The obviously these rap battles and him just walking away from it is why I remember most about the movie.
Yeah,
peace out, rabbit.
He walked his white ass back to 8 Mile.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. I've been I'm definitely in the middle between you two. Like, I don't hate this movie, but I'm not crazy about it either. It's kind of yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
If I never watched this movie again, I would die happy.
I mean, I occasionally find myself at the gym throwing the end rap battles on. I think the end rap battles are dope.
I don't occasionally find myself at the gym.
True. Also true. The movie in 2003 won an Oscar for Lose Yourself.
Yeah, for the music. You mean, so the parts where they were rapping and singing were the only parts of the movie
circling back to my original point that the music was fucking in fuego. That's all I'm saying. The soundtrack, if you have a chance to buy the album and you like hip hop, holy shit, bro. The songs on that soundtrack will blow your mind. But as for a movie, it was great. It wasn't like I wouldn't put it on any top 100s or anything, but it was a great character movie. Yeah.
Surprisingly for this one, I did 3.5 out of 5 for this one. I thought I would go higher on this, but you know what? I was like, yeah, I mean, I can sit well with that.
I tried to take my nostalgia out of it, and I gave it 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Or 3.5 out of 5.
I gave it a 2 out of 5. The only thing I really liked was the music, and I think the casting was really good.
Yeah.
To actually bring legitimate artists in to do a couple spits here and there was actually pretty cool. But I didn't like the ending. I didn't like the writing primarily. I didn't really like much of this movie.
I do think if it was a biopic, it would have been better.
If it was a biopic about maybe a little bit of struggles about how he paid the bills early on, but then how he climbed through the fame and he has so much literally albums dedicated to roasting his the people who are trying to censor him. I want to see that, and I know you guys do too, but I wanted this movie when people were like, oh, this is how Eminem came to be. That's the way it was pitched to me when I was in high school, and I was like, cool. And then I watched it and I was like, wow, Eminem's life really sucked. And then you just do a little bit of research now and you realize a lot of that was fabricated instances to try and make it more dramatic, which is what a movie is. But when you have a belief for one thing and then all of a sudden it's something else, I guess I feel more betrayed than anything else. You know what I mean? So.
Fair.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand that.
I do hope though,
But-
before we die and before we move on, we get to see an Eminem biopic. I'd pay double, triple the.
I
stuff
feel
right
like
to
as
see
long
that.
as I'm not trying to be morbid or anything here, but as long as Eminem is here and now, I feel like that won't happen.
He's gotta die for it to happen. It's true.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. I think he just needs to be done making songs.
No,
Once he's
because I don't
officially
think
done.
I think there's a lot of his life that he wants to leave private. But as soon as someone else buys the rights to his privacy, it's gonna be out there. Same thing that Chappelle wants.
Yeah, but there's no interest in a Chappelle biopic.
I would watch the shit out of him.
I mean, I would too.
I would
But
watch
I'm not.
the shit out of it.
I'm not clamoring for it. I'd rather have more stand up from him. But like,
well, I mean,
Yeah.
but then Netflix goes and pulls his stand up, and now you.
did they?
I think they did.
Oh well.
Oh boy.
The only reason I say that I think we'll get it when he's done is because Straight Outta Compton ended up happening. So I think at some point we might get it. It's just maybe he does have to die because you're right. His beginning was rough, and like I don't
That's
mean
what I
just
want.
like I
Yeah.
don't mean just like his personal journey. I mean like his music was very
Yeah.
hateful, and to replay it now, if
Yeah.
he ever had any business aspirations or his daughter did, they would get canceled.
I don't think you could do that off of previously. I mean, they would have to edit all the stuff that
Bro,
they
they
play.
yanked Golden Girls.
Yeah, that's
like
true.
hello. I
But,
mean,
so,
I
like-
don't think he'd get away with a biopic about the way he spoke, the way he carried himself, his views at the time, which I know have changed, but like his views at the
Mhm.
time were like he's got. I never mind. I'm not even gonna quote it because it's pretty bad. But like he's got some very very rough shit in
Yeah.
the closet.
But like, I want to
Yeah.
see like he drops his first EP, and then he goes on
Yeah.
and he starts getting big, right? And then all of a sudden, all these parents are trying to sue Eminem, and then they have to put the explicit language and explicit content on the CDs, and it's all pretty much because of him. And like, I want to see his his side of going to court and battling this and trying to express himself as an artist, but also being like tied down with the shackles of all these
Everyone's
people
gonna
who
hate
literally
you.
hate him,
Yeah.
who literally hate him.
Yeah.
Never met the guy, but hate him. So like, I
Well, you
want to
remember
see
they
that.
tried to blame Columbine on him and Marilyn Manson.
Oh yeah, him and
Yeah.
Marilyn Manson. Yeah,
Yeah.
Unreal. They tried to
Yeah.
blame and they almost got away with it with Marilyn Manson.
Yeah.
I know Marilyn Manson almost took that dagger hard.
I know. Good thing he's a smart motherfucker.
Well,
But either way,
Yeah. So
8 Mile.
but
We agree.
8
Great
Mile.
movie.
that was our thoughts on 8 Mile.
we don't agree.
Dude, that was great. Dude, the back and forth of that was just really good. This was a good episode. But yeah, that's our thoughts on 8 Mile. Let us know what you guys' thoughts are in the comments. And now we're gonna spin the wheel and find out what the next year for our next movie will be. Let's pull that wheel up on here. All right.
Something good.
I've shortened the year down from 1970 to 1980 because the 70s I think was just a little too much for us. So I went down to 1980 here. So all right, we're gonna spin the wheel and we're gonna see what year we have to pick a movie from. Oh, it's in the 80s. 1984. I feel like we did that already.
Yeah.
If we did it already, we're gonna spin again because I think the Terminator was from 1984.
The original Doom.
Yeah. That
No.
1994.
We did 1984 the last episode, so we're gonna spin the wheel again. We're not doing that again. Let's go again. It's going in the 2000s. Oh, 2015. Okay. There we go. Something only 6 years ago. All right. So we're going to start looking up movies from the year 2015 now, and we're going to have one of those for the next episode. And all right, we're going we're going to end it there. Thanks for listening to this episode of You Can't Beat the Classics. George and Mike with me as always, and we'll see you for the next one.
See ya.